Hey everyone, welcome back to the JTW Sports Show. We had an exciting weekend of NFL, except we know one thing: the Falcons still suck.
Come on, man. Really? Really? Like that? It's like
Tom
that?
threw five touchdowns on you at 44 years old.
Hey,
It wasn't
Matt
on
Ryan.
me. It was
Matt
on the
Ryan
Falcons.
threw 2 touchdowns to Tampa Bay.
All right. Well, this one didn't start out the way I planned, but you know what? We'll roll with it. You guys are mean, very disrespectful. And yes, believe it or not, I'm still a Falcons fan. It's really hard. It's really, really hard. I'm a little depressed, but you know what? We're going to get through it. We have 15
So
more
what?
games.
So what college
15
quarterback are
games.
you eyeing for the #1 overall pick right now?
Nah, they don't need a quarterback. They just need everything else. That's
Yeah.
enough Falcons talk. They don't deserve our
Good
time.
God. All right.
Yeah, they don't
Well,
deserve any of our time.
They don't deserve anyone's time. They don't even deserve to have a team anymore. I heard
All right.
they're leaving the NFL for the
You
CFL.
know what we can talk about? We'll start off with Thursday's game. A lot of controversy has come out since the end of Thursday's game, boys.
That was a great game.
It was a great game. Tyler Heineke showed up and showed out.
watch. So much fun to watch. I'm so glad it happened.
It went from questionable holding calls to Daniel Jones showing that he has a little Lamar Jackson in him to Taylor Heineke dropping perfect bombs in the back of the end zone. And then
Yeah. So
the offsides penalty to end the game.
Good.
yeah. Daniel Jones does not have much Lamar Jackson in him.
He's got enough. He had a 57-yard touchdown run that got called back on a
Yeah,
on a
that
terrible
was not a holding
call.
call. That was not a holding call. But
No, let's be honest here. And on some real stuff, the officiating this weekend was terrible.
It's been awful. The NFL
Absolutely
taunting rule.
terrible.
The NFL taunting rule gotta go.
No, it's got to go for real.
tell him,
It's bad.
TJ. Tell him.
Yeah, I can't simply talk to another human being without them getting. You know what? We're just gonna throw the flag. I mean, come on now. I'm
Yeah,
done.
exactly.
Over it. Bro,
Yeah,
I watched
yeah.
a video earlier. They showed it over the weekend. They have compiled a video of 4 minutes of taunting flags that got thrown in just this past weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I remember during the preseason it was the Panthers game. I'm pretty sure. There was a run and he got up and was like, yeah, and they threw a flag.
Like you can't celebrate a run. Like
Yeah, like he literally just like screamed. He was like,
bro,
ah.
people show emotion. That's part of the game. And like that's what I don't understand is like people like these refs think, oh, you can't even look at somebody now. You can't flex. Like that's a big part of the game.
Like I understand like the over taunting. Like I understand like you're going a little bit too far sometimes. You need to throw the flag, but
none of those flags should have been thrown. Let's be
no,
completely
not
honest.
at all. Like
That's
what?
what
If you get a big interception, you're not supposed to like flex about it. And
You know what? That's crazy. But hey, look, at the end of the day, the Thursday night game was fantastic. I loved watching it.
I do have to ask you guys though about the Thursday game something.
What's up?
I watched a video. It didn't look like he jumped off sides. It looked like he moved as soon as that ball moved.
It's
I said-
That's a terrible
I
call.
said that in person when it was live. I was like,
Yeah, I know. I think that's just good ball timing. I think he timed that up perfectly.
yeah, it's one of those things that like those kind of calls are not reviewable. So what the ref sees, and everybody's like, oh, all penalties should be reviewable, all this and that.
I'm not saying all penalties should be reviewable, but all scoring like penalties, like is that make sense? Like game ending, game winning plays that have a
That's
penalty
not very likely.
should be reviewed.
Yeah,
Because
but
that's the difference between the Giants walking away with a win and not.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, we can talk a little bit about the game itself. We talked a little about Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke. They both kind of doled it out of two very, I'd say, below average quarterbacks in the league. But they played pretty well. I mean, Terry McLaurin proved that he is one of the top young receivers in the league.
Oh, 100%.
He showed his ass.
JD
for real.
McKissick came back and had a great game after putting up a stinker in week 1.
That's true.
Killed Will's fantasy team.
Graham Gano.
I still won, so that's cool.
Hey, attaboy.
Graham Gano was kicking bombs.
He was. He
All
put
night
up
long.
22 fantasy points.
22 fantasy points.
First kick.
Fantasy over here, man. Everything we say comes back to fantasy. I think it's so funny.
Big fantasy guys over here. But that was a great game on Thursday. Shifting over to Sunday.
Saquon is overrated.
Agreed.
Yes.
There we go. I'm sorry, all you Saquon stands. Don't know why you guys are Saquon stands. He hasn't played in 2 years, but hey, he's pissing me off. I've got him on my fantasy team. Got him in the second round. Thought it was a steal, but I mean, hell.
Yeah. And everybody says it's because the Giants O line isn't good, but even when he had good seasons, they weren't very good. So like, I just
And
think
that Giants O line's actually not bad.
yeah. I mean,
They
they
could
say
do
the
it.
average shelf life for a running back is 3 years. So
And torn ACL kind of takes
Yeah.
a year or two off.
yeah.
He'll be all right. I hope so. But
The first game I want to talk about from yesterday is my team. I know that sounds bad, but
no, I mean, wow.
let's be honest,
No,
boys.
take it away, Will. You talk about it first. Obviously, your team.
Let's be honest. We gave up 128 yards to the Saints, who just the week before beat the Packers.
No, but you guys don't have any dogs. You guys have one dog.
Yeah. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Apparently, he says we only have one dog on our team, on our defense, and that's J.C. Horn, who's a rookie. But we have multiple dogs on there who held their team to 128 yards, 48 rushing, and 80 passing. Yeah, and
Hey, Will. They trying to say that Alvin Kamara is better than Christian McCaffrey.
yeah, okay. Alvin Kamara finished the game with 8 rushes for 5 yards, and
Lord, Kamara, at that point, Mike Davis is better than you.
yeah. So let's just be honest. I don't know. Obviously, the Saints were missing 9 coaches because of COVID. They were missing a bunch of players come from COVID and injury. But they still had, a lot of their main players. Obviously, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson wasn't playing, so I don't even know why he's talking about the game.
Oh, no, but he's a dog. He would have been a game changer.
Yeah. On the Panther side of things, Sam Darnold continued to impress. McCaffrey doing what he does, 75 or 72 rushing yards, a touchdown, 65 receiving yards.
I think Sam Darnold's proving that it was the Jets organization that was holding him back, him not holding him back.
I've told everybody, last year we started out hot. We were 3-2 after 5 games. We looked pretty good. Teddy Bridgewater looked good. And then Christian McCaffrey got hurt. And once McCaffrey got hurt, we were done. So I'm not basing anything off the first 2 weeks. We're going to slowly see how it goes. I predicted that we were going to go about, let's see, since they're 9-8 now instead of 9-7.
But your defense looked really good.
That's the thing. Our defense is a lot better than I thought they were going to be because they're young. They're still young.
Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Hassan Riddick, dude, these guys are legit. They're dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like they showed up. They're a good team. Obviously, that coaching stuff really, really does have a big, big impact. 9 coaches gone. That's crazy. But you got to deal with adversity. That's what, football is literally all about, how to deal with adversity, week to week. But Panthers showed like they were a good team. Are they back to their Super Bowl contention teams? I don't know. But
Not yet.
if their defense keeps playing the way they were, I would not be surprised. That's kind of bold to say that even, but I think they're a couple of years away. They're still developing. It's cool. TJ, you mentioned something earlier, just a second ago, about Sam Darnold. Say it again. It was
that he wasn't holding the Jet, like the Jets were holding him back.
Yeah,
All Jets fans and everybody in the NFL last year and the seasons he was there, it was Sam Darnold's not the guy. Sam Darnold can't play football. Sam Darnold can't do this. But in actuality, I think it's the other way around. I think the Jets can't do this, causing Sam Darnold not to be able to do that, to achieve what he can achieve. Now that he's under Matt Rule and that Panthers organization,
Joe Brady, offensive coordinator.
Joe Brady is his offensive coordinator. He's showing that
he's an actual
can be that guy. He's showing he can be the face of the franchise and take them far. And I think as each week goes on, y'all have gotten better and better from last week to even this week. Like you can see the difference, how much more comfortable he's getting in that offense, behind that offensive line, who's a pretty decent offensive line in my opinion.
Not the best, but I mean,
it's not the best, but you're decent. You're giving him time to
you're
make
missing Taylor Matone too. So,
I mean, but speaking of the Jets, and
I was about
getting rid of Sam Darnold was a dumb decision because now you got a guy who had the same amount of completions as he did to the other team.
Yeah,
he had 4 completions to his own team and 4 interceptions at the same time. He was 8 for 8. Just.
Yeah.
Not his team.
Yeah.
I don't think No, I take back everything I said preseason that he was going to be the
See,
offensive.
it's still early. I mean, okay, offensive rookie of the year is probably out of the question already. But obviously,
Is it though? Because Trevor Lawrence has 5 picks.
yeah.
I actually saw it on Twitter yesterday. Good comparison. QBs to throw 5 picks in their first 2 games. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Nathan Peterman.
Good God, never mind. Yeah, there's
Yeah. Nah, it's too early to base everything, off of these first 2 weeks. Obviously, they're rookie quarterbacks. I mean, look at Sam Darnold, his rookie year. I mean, he didn't have the best rookie year. I mean, he had a decent rookie year, but
It's all ghost.
there's been plenty of quarterbacks that haven't had great rookie years that still, came out and played good for the rest of their career. But that speaking of young quarterbacks, the Cardinals and the Vikings played yesterday.
Kyler Murray is a
Kirk Cousins, so young.
Yeah, Kyler Murray threw for 400 yards on 29 completions. He did have 2 picks, but Kirk Cousins in the first half had 3 touchdowns, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and
I'm telling you, I said it last week when Kirk Cousins threw almost 300, a little over 300 yards. Kirk Cousins isn't bad. Everyone always says Kirk Cousins isn't that great. Kirk Cousins is a little bit above average. I'm not going to give him great, but he's a little bit above average.
You can put him in top 15. I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah. Closer to 15, but then 10.
The way the game ended, though, was crazy.
Yeah. So, they were going back and forth, the whole game. Looking at it here, you get
37 yards.
Field goal by the Cardinals to go up by 1. Then the Vikings get it back, go 3 and out. Then the Cardinals get it back, go 3 and out. And then the Vikings get it back, go all the way to the end of the game, and missed a 37-yard field goal.
37-yarder.
To win it. 37-yard field goals,
I'm not saying it's a chip shot.
I'm not saying it's a chip shot, but it should be.
It's a chip shot. You're in the NFL.
It is a chip shot, but at the same time, we don't know. Holder could have held it wrong because that does affect some things. But
I mean, he did.
One of those, he'll never come out and say. He'll say it was all on me.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a crazy game. Like I said, Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's gotten a lot better. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, he should have played baseball. All this, he shouldn't have done this and that." I still think he's going to be a great quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
People were saying, "Oh, because of injury, he shouldn't have played football."
I think you could almost put him in the top 10 right now of quarterbacks currently in the league.
I don't think quite yet. I think he's definitely given the end of this year, and he's probably going to crack that spot. But there's still some really.
If he were to be top 10, I'd have him at 10.
Okay, I can see
that.
that.
Yeah. Looking at quarterbacks, I would say he's, around the 12 range, just because we haven't seen him in the playoffs, stuff like that.
True.
There's other guys ahead of him. Like I would take Baker Mayfield over Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah, I'd 100% take
on my team. Now, individual talent, Kyler Murray may be a better individual talent, but if I have a team, I'm probably going to take Baker Mayfield as of right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's a good take.
So,
I mean, Will, we just talked about your Panthers, your undefeated Panthers. TJ, switch the script, dude. Undefeated Broncos, like what?
Teddy looked good yesterday with 329, 2 touchdowns, 26 completions on the day.
Don't worry.
126.5 QBR rating or whatever it is, whatever it's called.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
good. Defensively, we have always been good. Always. With Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. Problem is, we did lose Jossie Jewell. I forget how you say his name. He was one of our starting middle linebackers. We lost him to he tore his pec yesterday in the game. Injuries are kind of affecting us right now. Jerry Judy's out with an ankle. Cortland Sutton showed up, though.
I was about to say, it opened up all the receptions for Cortland Sutton. And
I've always liked Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton's always been good. It opened it up. We beat the Jags, which everyone's like, oh, it's the Jags. So it's like, yeah, but I mean, we held football Jesus, we didn't let them do a whole lot there. And I think it gives us a good opportunity for our division to where the only team that worries me, the Chiefs still worry me. We'll get into that game in a minute, but is the Raiders.
Yeah, and I was going to say, as a good little transition into the only other undefeated team in the AFC is the
Raiders.
And they look good. all around.
Derek's looking good.
Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He is underrated. Has been underrated since he's been in the league. Well, they had that one year where he got some MVP votes. I was a little
Yeah, I mean he got hurt at the end of the year.
He showed his ass, but like he's showing.
Actually, it was against the Panthers when he got hurt. The game he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Bragging about that.
No. I'm just saying,
no, it's cool. It's cool. No, but I mean, he's got one of the best, receiving threats in the game right now, and that's Darren Waller. He's what? Just because he's on my fantasy? No, dude.
He pissed me off in fantasy yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say underachieved that much. He put up like 12 points. Again, everything goes back to fantasy, but no, I mean, Darren Waller, he's fast. He's he's a matchmaking, nightmare. He's a mismatch waiting to happen. It doesn't matter who he's on. If he's on a corner, he's got similar speed but a way bigger body. He can just baby these kids, and then you put him on linebackers, they can't keep up with him. He's the perfect player to have on your team. He's what the Falcons are trying to do with Kyle Pitts. I hope he gets to that. But I love Darren Waller. He's a great dude. He didn't do so much in the last game, but Derek Carr, I love the way he found other receivers and brought them into the game.
And that's what I love about Derek Carr, though. If you watch, we didn't really discuss it because we talked about our little pregame predictions. We were all right about the Raiders beating the Ravens. Carl Nassib showed out, got the game-winning fumble. But Derek doesn't take any of the credit. He doesn't take any of the credit. He talked about, it's my receivers. They show up and outwork. And that's what I've always liked about Derek Carr. He doesn't take the credit. He's like, I'm just the guy that just throws them the ball. They're the one that does everything else.
Yeah, I'm looking at the box score here. I mean, Henry Ruggs showed up. He had a big game. Ruggs, Waller, Renfro, and Kenyon Drake all had 5 receptions each. Bryan Edwards had 3. So he spread the ball around a lot to many different people.
That's what he does.
Josh Jacobs didn't play because of sickness.
And they beat a very good, they beat a good Steelers team. The one thing that I think you could take away from the Steelers offense yesterday, nothing really with Big Ben, it was the Najee Harris stiff arm that happened, where they showed that photo and then the photo of Derrick Henry doing it, going Alabama running backs are built different.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders have looked good, in the 2 games they've played. I think,
and they're a team that I'm concerned when the Broncos play them. If we don't show up, we're gonna lose.
Yeah, I mean, that division is looking, pretty solid. Maybe all around through the first 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, the other team in our division, they did lose yesterday. The Chargers, going to field goal things, they lost to the Cowboys on.
You know what? Yeah, Will, we need to talk about this one.
Yeah.
We've been talking about how bad officiating was, but there's been some ridiculous calls. And these next 2 games that we're going to be talking about, we got the Cowboys-Chargers game and then Titans-Seahawks right after that.
Oh, yeah. It was some of the worst officiating I've seen.
Yeah, the Cowboys-Chargers game. So, the Chargers are down by 3. They kick a field goal, or they score a touchdown. Jared Cook, little touchdown, and they said there was 2 people in motion, so backed them up. So they're on about the 5-yard line. So Justin Herbert's scrambling, like quarterbacks do when they get pressured. He's backpedaling. There's a guy, Micah Parsons. It was actually Micah Parsons was running at him, had not touched him yet, and he leans back to throw the ball away. And as he's doing that, the refs blow the whistle and say that he was sacked. So
as he was throwing it away, Micah Parsons was touching him.
Yes.
But from a quarterback's standpoint here,
yes,
that's ridiculous. He is backpedal. That's what we do. We gain time. We kind of we try to make something maybe come open last second. We know we're going to throw it away, but we're trying to just make a play, add some time to the field. And he throws it away just for him to call it a sack and you just lose 20 yards. Come on, that is ridiculous. NFL, fix that. That's messed up. I'm pissed.
So they went from scoring a touchdown and being up 4 points to tying the game at 17. And then, Dallas drove down and kicked a field goal, at the end of the game with 4 minutes left.
No, I don't want to take anything away from Dallas. They had a great, last drive. And
I think overall, though, that offense didn't perform well.
You talking about Dallas?
Yeah.
I mean, Dak was 23 of 27. He had 237, but he didn't throw a touchdown. He had one interception. Tony Pollard looked better than Ezekiel Elliott yesterday. Me and Jimmy talked about it last night a little bit watching the game. Zeke might be done as an elite running back in the league. Not that he can't play in the league anymore.
But he's done as being the top guy.
I mean, showed that if he doesn't have the best offensive line in the league and quite maybe in league history, then he's just average.
Yeah. I do agree though with the officiating you have in college right now. The big thing is targeting. Because there's a bunch of calls that shouldn't be called. And then we get to the NFL and it's taunting and all this other it's taunting, it's the offsides, it's everything right now to where officiating as a whole is coming into question of like, all right, we need to regroup here and come up
and it showed right after the dang Cowboys game with the Seahawks and Titans.
Yeah.
And it lost the Seahawks the game. Russell Wilson they're near their goal line, but they're probably close to 10-yard line. And he drops back and he's trying to escape a sack, gets away from one, rolls around to the other side, and is getting wrapped up, breaks out of it a little bit and turns and is trying to throw it away, and then turns again, gets wrapped a little bit more, and throws it away while he's not down. He's not been tackled, but since he's backed up, he lost his forward momentum, and it's a sack.
And that goes back to all the new rules saying they want to protect quarterbacks. And it's like, yes, you have to protect quarterback, but no, you don't, because why do quarterbacks get favored over every other player? So, if the same thing happens to a running back, they don't blow the whistle like that.
They jump on them.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't understand. Okay. Yes, quarterbacks are important to the team, but so is
everybody on the team. No, there shouldn't be
everybody else on the team.
Yeah.
More important. There's no hierarchy in football.
Now, you guys did watch the full Seahawks Titans game.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you believe that was a safety at the end?
Yeah,
I
believe it was an incomplete pass because he threw it away. But you're talking about the Russell Wilson thing, right?
I'm talking about Russell Wilson right there in OT.
I think it's an incomplete pass. But according to the rules that they're trying to make, he was in the end zone when he threw the ball, and the dude was touching him, and he was going backwards. So technically, I think it should have been a safety. So they messed up twice on the same play. Ridiculous.
I mean, in the end, I think big takeaways. Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry
took him it takes big man a while to get going, but once big man gets going, big man.
He had 50. I know we made the joke about fantasy, but he had 50 fantasy points. Like the man ran up and down the field on that team.
Mostly in the second half.
Mostly in the second half, 100%.
A team that could really have used Derrick Henry last night. Well, last night that kind of gives away. I mean, obviously every team does, but the Chiefs, dude.
Yeah,
Chiefs. That was a good game.
They couldn't get a run game going.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire literally fumbled the game away.
Nice, that was good. It makes me think. I was, we didn't have this whole podcast or the sports show set up or anything, but we had talked in the past when that draft was going on. I thought that the Chiefs were going to take DeAndre Swift, and that's looking like a lot better of a pick right now. We're about to see, as we're recording this, we're about to see DeAndre Swift play tonight. But hopefully. So far in one game, he's been better than Clyde's whole career.
I think that the Chiefs offense is still firing, on all cylinders. It's their defense that's now coming into question.
Yeah.
And I just got scared.
What happened?
Big news. We got big news.
I got a notification that said Christian McCaffrey expects to be fine, and I was like, oh God, what's wrong? But it just says he was having cramps in week 2. I don't know why that's a big deal.
But that Ravens offense, Lamar does what Lamar does best, and that's to scramble and run up the field with the ball in his hands. Because he threw 2 early picks early on to where any other team would have capitalized on it, but the Chiefs only capitalized on one of them, and.
Yeah,
I guess this week the running back room will be working ball security.
Yeah, I saw a stat. I'm pretty sure this is Lamar's 5th game with 200 pass yards and 100.
It's his 4th game. It's his fourth game.
Okay, yeah, that's clearly the most all time. not sure who's second all time. I'm assuming it's probably Michael Vick.
Probably.
Either him or maybe Cam Newton, but Cam Newton really didn't get many rushing yards.
Okay, how did y'all feel about during the game them focusing on Villanueva?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't quite
I
understand.
understand it, but at the same time, it's like he's not the only one that's like messing. You know what I'm saying? He's not the only one.
Yeah.
That's, obviously, he didn't have a great game. The Chiefs.
Mhm.
I mean, D Ford is a very good defensive end.
He is.
I
I did like his quote though.
Did I just say D Ford?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Frank Clark.
I meant Frank Clark. I'm
Frank Clark.
sorry. I'm thinking about the quiz we did the other day. Frank Clark is a very good defensive end. And so I don't understand why they were basically singling him out.
Yeah. I mean, it's messed up. I think teams are going to go after him now.
For sure.
Like you play the Rams. I mean, I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, you play the Rams. I think
Aaron
Donald on
Yeah.
him.
I mean, arguably one of the best guards in the NFL right now. Quentin Nelson even said
I mean,
that blocking Aaron Donald was a dogfight. Like he had to do his best every rep, otherwise he would have.
well, I mean, think
would've gotten
about
beat.
the Ravens division. I mean, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, teams are going to go after that. They have to play. Yeah. So
I mean, he's got a lot to work with, or a lot to work
they
on.
play the Broncos in 2 weeks. Von
Yeah,
Miller.
we do.
Hopefully, the Broncos don't.
Another takeaway though, as a whole from week 2 is the amount of injuries that are going on right now. Though, yeah, you're gonna have your injuries here and there, but I mean, there were quite a couple yesterday. We have 2 out.
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb went
I
out.
didn't even mention that. Yeah, that's. I mean,
2 went out with a rib injury. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, when it first happened, everybody was like, "Oh, to his hip. He's hurt again." He was, and then they start freaking out about, him being a bust and all that. And I'm like, "Whoa, calm down." But like, ribs, you never know with ribs injury, but it also hurts because Ryan Fitzpatrick is out. So
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he's also on the Washington
football.
Sorry. I'm thinking about last year when Ryan Fitzpatrick.
But you're damn right. Ryan Fitzpatrick is also out. He was hurt.
He's out with a hip injury.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is out. Yes, he is out. Sorry,
But,
boys.
yeah, I mean, it's making all the Dolphins fans out there wish they took Justin Herbert. And
Oh no, that's what I was trying to say. I was gonna say
because Ryan Fitzpatrick.
they missed Ryan Fitzpatrick. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
So yeah, I mean,
their backup's Jacoby Brissett, who's not a bad, he's a decent backup.
great QB sneaker. All right, best in the game QB sneaks. But hey, every team's got a lot to work on. There's 15 more games. That means 15 more weeks of work, of grind.
Falcons losing.
Oh, I was talking about for us. Oh yeah, the NFL teams, they got to do a lot of that stuff too. But hey, this was fun. This is a good little episode. I want to give
you guys enjoyed.
We want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Elevate Nutrition. They're here located 20 Cascade Street. We're here in Mars Hill. So anybody in Mars Hill, go check them out. Use our code JTW. Tell them, as soon as you walk in the door, I'm using the code. And you get half off all of your shakes, $1 off your energy teas. Plus, a big thing we're adding coming soon is on game days, on Saturdays. All right. Every home game, if you're in the Mars Hill area, every single order will be using code JTW. So
you don't have to tell them, everything's half off basically. That's a great deal that they're giving us, and they're giving, they're doing it to help them and to help everybody.
Yeah.
They're doing it to help you.
Great people. Yep. They're great people over there. Go support them. We love them. They're super cool. We love you guys too. So thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for the next ones.
See you guys later.
See ya.